Good morning and welcome to the show, and thanks for waking up with us today. I've got some special people in the studio today, some local filmmakers. So we've got Lou Columbus here, who is basically a videographer, I guess, and producer of a movie. And we have Daphne Lewis, who is an actor in the movie Spilled Blood. Yikes, what a title.
Well, good morning.
Well, good morning. Enjoy your coffee, folks. And we're going to talk about spilled blood, you know. But you know what's really fascinating to me is that we have these types of things going on here locally that a lot of people don't necessarily know about. I mean, you guys are movie makers. If someone wanted to be a doctor, Daphne, I could tell them, go to college, right?
Right.
Go to this school, go to that school, do whatever. If somebody wants to be an actor, where do you start?
I started in community theater, and then you meet people, and right now there are so many classes going on. There's acting for film at Elliott Talent Agency. There's just stuff you can do community-wise at the local theater, and then you keep your eyes open for stuff like this. There was an audition at the college for Spilled Blood, and then you just keep going in, and
So it's really, you're kind of like a free-range actor out there.
Right. I mean, there's not as much going on in Panama City, but we'd like to have more. You know what I mean? I think this is a great starting point with what Michael Lister did with this film. Kind of show people we can do projects on our own. They've been trying to bring a lot in, but Michael did this all on his own, all in the North Florida, Bay County.
Now Michael
Gulf
Lister,
County.
for people who don't know, Lou is a local writer. Is that
local
right?
author. Writes in multiple genres, but he has a series of books with a character named John Jordan, who's a prison chaplain, ex-police officer, who gets involved in solving crime. So they're mysteries, I guess you'd say. And this film, he wrote the script for, he directed it, he edited it. I shot the film for him. And it's based on the early years of this character, John
Right
Jordan.
here in little old Panama City. How about
And
that?
it's all shot locally, Weehawken, Panama City. So it's all local people working on it.
That's awesome. Daphne, if we go see the film, will we recognize any places from around the Gulf Coast?
Possibly. I mean, there's some beautiful footage he did from the Dead Lakes. We did
The Dead Lakes? I'm not sure I know where that is.
Well, it's
It's out in Weehawken.
yeah. Well, where the where the
I need
wood,
to get out to Weewell more.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area out there.
Yeah. So where the trees have come up, they're just sort of anyway, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we did some stuff at the college and at the Gulf County prison. No, what?
The training area out there off of Highway 20.
Oh yes, I know exactly
Yes,
what you're talking about.
and we had those guys in their riot gear.
Well, that was the Gulf Coast Sheriff's Department, the Gulf County
Awesome.
Sheriff's Department. They actually suited up in the riot gear. Unfortunately, you can't see their faces; they're covered. But
but they were great.
So
they were excellent.
what has been the response you get from locals when you're out there shooting? Are people by and large supportive, or do you think you're big Hollywood types invading? I mean,
No. Everybody's been really
I don't think
supportive.
we give them that impression.
No.
This has seriously been a community kind of
No danger of
thing.
that, huh?
Yeah. This was.
I think people were really excited to be involved and help us, and I think everybody gets excited about trying to create art in the community. And
well, I think it's really exciting stuff that you guys are doing. And we got to run off to local weather. But on the other side of that, I want to talk more about Spilled Blood.
Okay.
Parental warning on the second half, it could get a little violent. So put the coffee down. And we'll be right back after your Waking Up with Don weather. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Lou Columbus and Daphne Lewis from a new film that's been produced right here on the Gulf Coast, Spilled Blood. Local filmmakers. How exciting is that? I love being able to say that we have local filmmakers.
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah.
We're really excited. Like I was saying earlier, I've worked on productions that have come into town, but it's a brilliant group that we have, here locally, and lots of talent.
Yeah, do we get many films being shot here on the Gulf Coast? I know, 30A has its moment of glory with the Truman Show and all that stuff, but do we see much of that around here?
Well, we have our local film commissioner, Julie Gordon, has been trying to get as much in as possible. So we do have a lot more going on. Than
But
we
when
used
it's
to.
homegrown, it's just a little sweeter, isn't it?
Yes, and it was
Yeah.
and it was a nice little piece. It's a short film, it's actually very nice. I mean, I know, it's not necessarily a
family film.
A family film. It's probably PG-13.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Right, but it was beautifully done. You know, nice cuts back and forth, time-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the acting is superb too.
Of course.
Naturally. So what's the movie about? I mean, if we were to give someone a recommendation to go see this movie, what could you tell them? What are the highlights of the film, and why should we go see it?
Well, anybody that's familiar with Michael's books, which he's been writing books for
Michael Lister.
Lister for about 20 years. He's local. He has this series with John Jordan, who's a very popular character. The latest book is just coming out. It's called Innocent Blood. Like Daphne said, they're the blood series. All the books have blood in the title. It takes place early in John Jordan's career, and it has an introduction written by Michael Connelly, who's a very famous, well-known author. And you don't get an introduction like that in your book unless you got some got good quality.
Yeah.
So Michael's a quality author, been writing these mystery series for a long time.
Well, and what's the takeaway from the movie? Is there a moral to the story that we should take away, or is it just pure, unadulterated entertainment? Or all the above?
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's some questions. It's trying to get down to the bottom. You know, he writes mysteries, and to what happened into these events.
So it's a thinking person's movie then.
He's a prison chaplain, and I think this is the very beginning of his career as a prison chaplain, an event that happens that shapes his character in the future. And you could say it's a meditation on faith. How does faith affect how we respond to certain situations and carry on in the future, even though bad things may happen? So that's
and we're all humans, and we make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's that
In the
sort of
30
thing.
seconds we have left, how do we see this movie? I mean, it's not going to be in the local movie theaters. We have to do something special to see it.
No, we have our premiere this weekend, but after that,
you can go to michaellister.com, and he has a website there with all information on his books, and there'll be information on the film. Eventually, it will be on the internet on YouTube, so anybody can see it. We haven't established what time that'll actually be available, but if you want to see it before that, you can go to michaellister.com, and there'll be information on there.
Okay, so just go to michaellister.com, look for the Blood series, okay, and look for you, and you're in a starring role.
It's all sort of co-starring.
A co-starring role. Okay.
Yeah. We all have pretty much equal parts, and trying to establish what's going on.
Well, Daphne Lewis, Lou Columbus, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm excited to say that we have local filmmakers right here on the Gulf Coast, and I'm happy you guys came in today.
Thank you,
Good luck with your future endeavors, and keep me posted on more filmmaking. I may do an Alfred Hitchcock cameo next time. Who knows?
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Doug Sandler, who is the author of Bad Memories. Douglas Sandler, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm reading the flyleaf of this thing, and it looks like a real murder mystery, I guess. Who is murdering who in Millersburg? What is this book about?
Well, it's about a doctor a former doctor who worked at an asylum, and he believes he accidentally killed 3 people with the wrong dosage, but he doesn't remember doing it. And there's big.
We want to do a little spoiler alert. We don't want to give too much away.
Well,
but it
that's
sounds
why
like a very entertaining read if you like this type of mystery.
Well, basically, there's question whether or not he did or didn't do it. Okay, they'll have to read the book to figure that one out. But there are other characters that used to work at the asylum with him that he runs into again, like his wife used to date one of the doctors there before she dumped him to marry John Miller.
It's like Columbo meets Peyton Place.
And she worked as an intake nurse at the same asylum as those two. His best friend also worked there, which I'm not going to spoil what happens to him. And a few other people come in later in the book, all related.
Sounds like a TV movie of the week.
Basically, it's got double cross, manipulative people.
And murder and mayhem.
That
sounds like good stuff. Now, what made you write this book, Douglas? I mean, was this your first published work? Is this your first book?
It's my first book, my first actual novel. I mean, I've wrote stamp collecting articles for magazines and stuff.
All right, stamp collecting. Okay.
Right, but I started this back in '98.
What do you call it? A philatelist?
Philatelic.
Philatelic.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew it was something like that.
Yeah, I started this book back in '98, and I finished it around 2000, but I never quite got around to getting it in, manuscript form.
Right.
And then I
So
decided.
now you decided to have it published.
Well, I found out I could do it myself professionally,
Uh-huh.
and I decided, why not? It's not costing me anything, unless I want to buy my own copies, which I think is kind of funny. But
So if I wanted to get this book, can I just go out to Amazon and buy it?
yeah, you can query my name or the title of the book, and it'll show up on Amazon with my author page, which lists, about me, or as much as I'm willing to reveal.
So, okay, well, all right. Well, let's reveal a little more about you. What got you started on this writing journey? I read the flyleaf inside, and you thank your teachers at PS 216 in Brooklyn, and you thank Gulf Coast and your parents and everything. Was there any one key person that kind of started this for you, or?
Well, growing up in the '70s, for a lot of years I didn't know I had adult ADHD, and it caused me a lot of problems in school. And in those days, mental health, treatment in schools, where you were treated like a moron, and you were basically, belittled back in the '70s. And a lot of the teachers said, "You'll never amount to," but a few of the teachers at these schools encouraged me to read, and I credit them with, giving me a reason to keep reading. And
So you actually overcame a handicap.
yeah, I didn't know
write this
till
book.
2006.
And you didn't realize you had a handicap.
I didn't.
Yeah, until you were, I guess, diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah, it ultimately cost me my military, career, because I didn't know at the time. But,
But now you've actually, so this book is actually not only a good work of fiction and interesting and all that, it's a personal triumph for you, isn't it?
yes, I mean, to have a lot of people, a lot of other authors I've asked tell me that a lot of people publish stuff, but they never publish it. I'm putting myself out there all over the internet trying to get it published and doing what I can, since I don't have money to do the promotions like I want to.
Good luck to you, Doug Sandler, and thanks for coming on the show and sharing your story and your book with us. Go to Amazon, Bad Memories by Doug Sandler. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dr. Stephen Favaloro from Forest Park Animal Hospital, and we're going to talk about pet emergencies.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Doc, when I chopped the tip of my finger off with the hedge clippers, I just wrapped a rag around it, and I drove to the emergency room, and they took care of me.
Right.
Now, if you have a pet that gets sick or has an accident,
Right.
you can't bring them to Bay Med.
Well,
you got to bring them somewhere. Maybe it's in the middle of the night. Who knows? Where do you go with a sick pet in the middle of the night?
Well, and that's the thing about Bay County. There's not a 24-hour emergency veterinary service for the general public. So there is on the weekends. So Animal Care Center on the beach, they will take call for all of Bay County, if you will, from Friday like after 5:30 till Monday morning at 8. But that still leaves you Monday through Thursday with no emergency service for the general public. So as a veterinarian, we are required by law to provide 24-hour emergency service for our clients.
Okay, so if my dog is a patient of yours,
Right.
I can call you up and you'll see me.
Absolutely.
Or my dog.
Correct. Well,
Sandy, the famous Sandy.
I've never had a dog drive themselves to my clinic, so I usually see you too.
That's true.
Now
I've caught them playing poker, but I've never seen them drive a car.
So the problem is that if you don't have an established veterinarian, then within the confines of the law, they legally don't have to see you. So I know that sounds harsh, but there are people who won't do that, and you can't blame them sometimes, because the problem is you've been working all day. You've been at work since 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, your veterinarian's a busy guy.
You don't get out until 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. You go home to your family, and you get a call. So you go home. I mean, you go to the clinic. It's 10 o'clock. You don't get home till 1.
everybody's in bed, you miss dinner, and then you wake up and you do it again, and you do it again and again and again. So
and even people who aren't clients or patients of yours will call you.
Absolutely,
because they'll just look up the nearest veterinarian. And,
right, and the kind-hearted person in you, the reason you became a veterinarian, makes you consciously obligated to go. But what it does, it robs you from your family.
Right.
So makes you some people just I can't do it, because you're not a client of mine. So, but if you have an established veterinarian, then they have to see you. So what we do to kind of preserve our sanity is we have a group of 4 of us, and we rotate call throughout the week. So
you kind of share that.
Right. So me and 3 other clinics, and so I'll take call every Monday for all of us. So you might have an increased work burden that day, but then I'm not have to take call again until the next Monday.
Oh, that's good.
But for the general public, if you don't have an established veterinarian and you call, most of us will have an emergency service that takes the calls, and they'll screen you. And if you don't have a veterinarian, then you're going to end up having to go to Dothan or Tallahassee,
wow,
or Niceville.
Well, you should have an established veterinarian. I mean, if you have a pet, you should be making vet visits.
You say that,
Yeah.
but interestingly, I was talking to someone yesterday, and she said, "Oh, I've been looking for a vet." I was like, "Okay, what kind of dog you have?" She's like, "I don't know. I think it's a pit bull mix." I'm like, "That's cool." I said, "How long have you had it for?" She's like, 2 years. So it's a stray that came up, so she became attached to the dog, but it hadn't seen a vet in 2 years. So what happens if that dog gets sick? Vomiting, diarrhea. It gets an emergency, which we will talk about on the next segment. What actually constitutes an emergency?
Yeah.
Then she might be in trouble.
Yeah.
Where she has to drive, and if it's one of those that needs help now.
That would be the first thing I would do if I were to pick up a stray. Would be bring it to the vet right away, have them checked out, see they're not wormy or whatever, because you don't want them running around your house with diseases and all. But I guess some people just like, I've been feeding him, he's mine now.
Right, absolutely. Or a lot of it you'll see with cats. They don't really own the cat. The cat they've been feeding it for a while. They see it sick. Oh, I need to bring it to the emergency room.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have an established veterinarian.
Wow.
So that can be tough. And so most veterinarians will go in, but most of the time you don't get the veterinarian, you get the emergency service.
Yeah, geez. Dr. Stephen Favaloro, thanks so much for getting us smart on this, because, I guess the best recommendation is to, have an established veterinarian, and you won't run into this problem.
Well, that's not always true. Well, the problem is not having a vet.
Not having a vet, yeah.
The emergencies happen regardless.
And we'll talk about that more next week.
Very good.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Joseph Milliron from Bay County Animal Services and his friend Rocky. Hey, Joseph, what's the story behind Rocky? He looks so uptight.
Rocky, yeah.
Really,
yeah.
Rocky, try and relax.
He's about 2 years old, a hound mix, came to us as a stray. This is actually his 1 month anniversary with us. He's already neutered, got all his shots, all that good stuff. He's
Hey, Rocky.
interested in your carpet there.
Yeah, he likes the carpet. He likes the grass, the natural
He does.
setting. Come here, Rocky. Come here, buddy. There you go. So what's his story? Now, he was a stray, is that what you're saying?
He was a stray. Somebody called us up and reported him, and our officer went up and went around and grabbed him.
Rocky, you were running the streets, huh, buddy? Yeah, you were running the streets, and now you're here. All right, so now Rocky had been adopted once before. Is that a true statement?
He had been, yeah. The people brought him back. They weren't ready for a dog yet, apparently.
Yeah, so they took him for a test drive, and it didn't quite work out.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so now Rocky needs a home. How old a dog is Rocky?
He's about 2 or 3 years old. Yeah.
He's super friendly.
He is.
He seems like a nice dog. He doesn't look like he'll get much bigger than this, too. He's a good size.
He's full grown, yep. I think he's mixed with a smaller breed, it looks like. Because he's a little bit smaller than a normal hound.
Yeah, he's a handsome fella. Now, like all the animals there at Bay County Animal Services, he's been neutered. He's had his shots.
Yep.
He's even got his little chip in there, and he's ready to go.
He's all ready to go. It's a $25 adoption fee. You can come in, bring him for a walk, see if he's a good fit for your family, and after a few pieces of paperwork, he's ready to go.
Yeah, so for $25, and that $25 doesn't begin to cover the expense that Bay County puts into these animals, which is actually good. I mean, we need to make it affordable for people to adopt a pet. But when you do adopt a pet, you got to go in with your eyes wide open, don't you, Joe?
Yes, exactly. There's a lot of good dogs that they're not necessarily full bred or anything like that, but they're very good dogs. And after
and it's a responsibility. You're basically taking on a new family member when you adopt a dog. So
exactly,
it's a commitment.
It is. Yep.
All right. So Rocky here. If you want to adopt Rocky, what do we need to do?
Just come into the shelter, bring him for a walk, see if he fits your family. $25. About 10-15 minutes worth of paperwork, and then he's ready to go.
And we could actually check him out on the internet too. We can go Bay County Animal Services, just Google that up, and we can check out Rocky there, or we can call you, can't we?
You can. We have all of our animals listed on our website, along with pictures and a brief description of their breed and age.
Oh, awesome stuff. Thank you so much for bringing them by, Joe. And good luck to you, Rocky. It's good having you on. And always remember, spay and neuter your pets. We'll see you next time.